9 hikers fled into the frozen night, without boots, without coats, and without a single living witness. For more than 60 years, the world has argued about what happened on that mountain. But in recent years, new evidence and new scientific models have emerged, an explanation that may finally bring the Dyatlov Pass mystery into focus. Welcome back, wanderers of the strange and the shadowed. This is Rick's Storyverse, where we walk forgotten trails, unearth buried truths, and follow a flicker of lone torches into the darkest corners of our world. Tonight, we return to the Ural Mountains, to a place the Mansi people call Kholat-Syakhl, the Mountain of the Dead, and to the final journey of the 9 hikers whose fate has haunted generations. In January of 1959, 9 experienced hikers from the Ural Polytechnic Institute set out on a winter expedition. Their leader, Igor Dyatlov, was known for his discipline and precision. The group documented their trek with photographs and diary entries, capturing moments of laughter, exhaustion, and determination. They were young, strong, and skilled. Nothing about this trip suggested disaster, but as the weather worsened, the group drifted off course and set up camp on the eastern slope of Kholat-Syakhl. It was an exposed, wind-scoured place, far from ideal, but they were running out of daylight. They cut into the snowpack to level the tent. That decision may have sealed their fate. When the hikers failed to return, search teams were sent into the mountains. What they found did not resemble a simple tragedy. The tent was discovered first, still partially standing, but slashed open from the inside. It looked as if the hikers had torn their way out in a panic. Barefoot prints, some in socks, some completely barefoot, led down the slope toward the forest. And then the bodies began to appear. 2 hikers were found near a small fire at the edge of the woods. Their hands were burned, as if they had tried desperately to keep the flames alive. 3 more were found scattered between the forest and the tent, frozen in the snow, positioned as though they had been trying to crawl back uphill. But the remaining 4 were found deeper in the forest, in a ravine, and their injuries were far more severe. Crushed ribs, internal trauma, a missing tongue, missing eyes, yet no external wounds, no bruising, no signs of a struggle. For decades, theories multiplied. Avalanches, military tests, infrasound panic, fight within the group, a secret KGB mission, even encounters with something not human. But none of these explanations fully accounted for the evidence. Then, in 2021, a team of Swiss researchers introduced a new model, a delayed slab avalanche according to their findings. The hikers cut into the snowpack, destabilizing it. Hours later, a compacted block of snow may have broke loose and slammed into the tent with tremendous force. This could explain the internal injuries, similar to those seen in car crashes, without leaving external marks. It could also explain the panic, the barefoot flight, and the desperate attempt to reach the forest. But the avalanche model doesn't explain everything. It doesn't explain the radiation found on some clothing, it doesn't explain the strange discoloration of the bodies, and it doesn't explain the reports of glowing lights in the sky on the night the hikers died. That's where a newer theory enters the conversation. A failed Soviet R-12 missile test, according to this explanation. A rocket malfunctioned during a secret launch, releasing a drifting cloud of nitric acid or toxic fuel byproducts over the mountains. The hikers may have seen or heard something in the sky, panicked, and fled the tent. The chemical cloud could have caused disorientation, internal damage, and the strange burns noted in the autopsies. Some researchers believe the KGB quietly removed evidence from the morgue to conceal the accident. Relatives of the hikers have publicly stated that this explanation makes the most sense. Still, others argue that neither theory fully resolves the mystery. The missing eyes and tongue, the lack of external trauma, the tent cut from the inside, the hikers splitting into multiple groups, the eerie silence of the site, the absence of the tracks other than their own. These details continue to resist simple answers. So was the Dyatlov Pass incident finally solved? Officially, Russia attributes their deaths to a natural avalanche-related event. Scientifically, the Swiss model is the most peer-reviewed, but among Dyatlov researchers, the rocket and nitric acid theory has become the strongest man-made explanation, and among skeptics, the mystery remains intact. What happened on that mountain may never be known with absolute certainty, but the story of the Dyatlov 9 endures. A reminder that even in our modern world, there are places where the night still holds its secrets. I would like to sum up this story with a poem, and here's that poem. Beneath the frozen sky, their footsteps fade, 9 souls undone by choices fate had made. A tent torn wide by hands that fled in fear, a silent warning carved in ice so clear. The forest kept their secrets in its keep, its shadows watching as they fell to sleep. A slab of snow or poison from the sky, 2 truths that chase the question, how did they die? The mountain whispers answers none can claim, its winds repeating fragments of their name. And still the pass holds tight what none can see, a riddle locked in winter's memory. And that's another story from the edge of night. Please like and subscribe to keep the torch alight. Good night.